This is a concerned citizen of Canada. And I'm making this video to, well, basically try to get the attention of all the other concerned citizens, because I feel there's a lot of us out there. We feel like something's wrong, we're not quite sure what it is, but we feel that something's wrong. Maybe we don't know what to do, I don't know, but for me, I'm going to do my little part of going to watch the news for you guys. I'm going to pick out an article or a topic or a subject, make a video on it, and full transparency up front, I'm biased, okay? I want Canadians to be happy, healthy, free, prosperous, and strong. So, in other words, I'm putting the Canadian people first. So if I come across policies that are going to make us all those things, then I'm in support of it. If it's going to do the opposite, we don't support it. It's pretty simple. They've made politics extremely complicated. I don't think it has to be that complicated. Can you build us homes? Can we all have homes? Can we have meaningful, well-paying jobs? Can education educate the kids? Can we not spend all the money in Sudan, Haiti, Israel, Ukraine, like every country but Canada? Can we invest the taxes into the healthcare? Can we keep the infrastructure going? Can we invest the money into Canada? Can we put Canada first? Can we put Canadians first, basically, right? So that's the bias. That's the goal. That's what we need here, guys. So we need Canadians to come together of all sides, right? So this is just me, I guess, doing my little part of getting on the record, getting the message out there, trying to bring us together, right? So first article, first topic. There's a man named Ken, all right? Ken. He's 51. He lives in North Bay, Ontario, Canada. I've read a couple articles on this and I took some notes, guys. So what happened was he was saying some nasty things online. Pretty nasty things. So nasty that people reported him for the hateful rhetoric, right? So then the police get involved. They investigate him for about 7 months. They're watching all of his online activities, right? He gets charged on June 20th for hate crimes, more specifically for anti-Semitic propaganda. And so what happens is he's found guilty on the 18th of September of this year, 2025. And he's found guilty, and specifically, he's promoting anti-Semitism by condoning, denying, or downplaying the Holocaust. And he was sentenced to 9 months in jail and 2 years of probation. So the first thing is, I'll take a pause right here and I'll say that I've watched lots of World War II documentaries, I've never understood why people would deny the Holocaust. So the only way I can make sense of it is they just have a hatred for the Jewish people, right? And they hate them so much that, I don't know, I guess they want to throw out that accusation of the Holocaust not happening, right? Almost like denying your suffering here. So I guess I'm just going on the record saying, yeah, I think the Holocaust happened. Crazy. Crazy that we gotta, some of the things we gotta clarify. But anyway, so we continue here. The Friends of Simon Wiesenthal Center of Holocaust Studies in Toronto, they had a press release where they said that his post vilified the Jewish community promoted blood libels and conspiracy theories, and incited hate and violence against Jews, and repeatedly mocked and denied the Holocaust. Now, I read an article on it, and they didn't, like, I want to see the tweets, you know, I want to see the posts. The first article I read was just saying, guys, it's really hateful, it's really bad, it's propaganda, it's conspiracy theories, you know, and I'm glad this guy went to jail kind of thing, right? And I dug a little deeper. I was like, what did this guy say? And at first, I was looking up, what did this guy say? I'm open to however it goes. And I found an article where it did have some examples of the things that he said, and it was nasty. It was very nasty. It was for sure promoting hatred and violence to that group of people. Now, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in Canada, it protects our freedom of thought and our freedom of expression. However, they do leave room to limit your speech if you incite hatred or violence. You know, that's illegal. Now, the laws were made back in the day, before the internet, right? So they were thinking, if you go downtown, if you go out in public, if you stand on a bench, you know, you start preaching to people, you start making a speech, and you start trying to get people violent or try to get people hating a certain group, right? People would report you. The authorities would come, detain you, read you your rights, and you'd have your day in court, right? You can't do that. It's illegal. So the laws are kind of already on the books, okay? Now, this opens up an interesting conversation in my mind that's like, what do we do with online speech that is hateful and that incites violence? Because that is against the law, right? We can't do that. And I agree with that. We shouldn't do that. So now we have to decide where we want to go from here, right? Because it's a dangerous precedent to set to start putting Canadians in jail for things they write on social media, right? Now, if you want to make the case that you can't go on social media and incite hatred and violence, then you can make that case. I'm here for that debate. But if we're going down that road, then everybody has to be held accountable across the board. You understand? It should be fair. In other words, I was scrolling Instagram the other day, and I just realized everything online is just, they show you something you love, you go to the comments and people are crapping on it, so you're like, ugh. Or they show you something you hate, you know, and it's just, you love it or you hate it. But anyway, so they're showing me something. One of the things I hate talking about, skin color, right? They're trying to get me to do the race thing. And they were showing the poor woman that got stabbed in the States there by the man behind her on the bus. Okay, guys, and this is what I'm getting at. I went to the comments, okay? And could have been a bot. Who knows? This is what I'm getting at. Now you're getting into, like, are they bots? Are they people? Are they trolling? Now you have to sort of distinguish their intent with the hatred and inciting violence and all that. And are they being serious and all that? It's a weird can of worms we're going to be opening up here. So I go to Instagram comments. There's a woman in there, a young lady. She happens to have a dark skin color, and she's obviously she's picked a team, man. She's clearly picked a team because she's in there. She's trolling like these people are trolling Charlie Kirk for dying. It's like they're happy it happened, you know. It's like they're making fun of it. They want to hurt your feelings, so they're just making fun of it, right? So I don't know how serious this lady's being. But she's in the comments of Instagram letting people know, like, I'm happy this guy killed her, and that's she's treating it like a game, like a high score, like that's one for us, you know, that's one for the blacks, and it's gonna happen again. Like, she's, you know, inciting violence and inciting hatred towards white people, right? So that's what I'm saying, guys. So, like, call the cops. Are we gonna, everyone online? Like, I could, listen, hire me, okay? I'd make a great cop. I can sit here all day for 8-10 hours. I'll go online, I'll go through these comment sections, I'll watch people's videos, I'll find out who's inciting hate and violence online, and you can investigate them, knock on their door, give them a little phone call, watch their online activities, and you can, like, give me a little salary, right? Yeah, I'll find them for you. I'll keep you busy. You can be locking up people all day, left, right, and center. That's what I'm getting at. Is that the world we want to live in, where you're starting to lock people up for social media posts? I don't think so, guys, because what's going on in the UK right now, they open up their borders just like all the other countries. Canada, America, the UK, Australia, they open up their borders wide open. Let everyone in. So naturally crime goes up, right? Crime goes up. Listen, Muslims coming into the first world are just, most of them are just moderate Muslims, regular people. They want to love their family and all that. But when you let in a bunch at a time, it's like they kind of take over the neighborhoods, intentionally or not. It's kind of, racial tensions rise, basically. And what happens when the people who are in the country feel like they're not being taken care of, they might start saying things, online or not. And you're seeing the governments use the hate laws they're passing against the white people who are complaining about mass immigration. So it's not about stomping out hatred across the board or stomping out inciting violence across the board. It's selectively enforced, obviously, right? So this is what I'm warning about here with this video. It's a dangerous precedent to be setting, to be putting Canadians in jail for even stupid things like denying the Holocaust, because, listen, in here it's talking about how blood libels, you know, it's like a way of saying there's blood on your hands, a way of making you feel guilty for maybe pushing something that's not true. But here's the problem, guys, is that for the last 3 years we've been watching Israel commit genocide in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. You got people in the Israeli government openly talking about ethnically cleansing the area, right? So the opinion of the Israeli government has gone down the tubes, obviously, and rightfully so, right? And then when the pundits for Israel are on all these shows trying to defend the genocide and how it's just a war and how Hamas started it and how whatever, they use these things like you're committing blood libels and you're saying conspiracy theorists when, or you're saying conspiracy theories when they're not. People are being honest, they're telling the truth, and because you're in a position of power, you can sort of use that leverage to, you're wrong, your conspiracy theories are violence, and I'm protecting the Jewish people, and those are blood libels, and we're going to put you in jail for denying or downplaying the Holocaust. So, guys, I want Canadians to be happy, strong, healthy, prosperous, and free. So, if we're going to start tackling online hate and people who are breaking the law by committing hate and or inciting hate and violence online, then you got to do it across the board for every group. We can't just do it for one group, and this is a very dangerous precedent to set. And I'm going to say a few more things, and I'm going to get out of here, okay? Because we're going to keep these videos tight. I'm going to try to respect your time. You guys are busy. Let me watch the news for you. I understand. I'm going to try to respect your intelligence, okay? I'm going to try to be more nicer on these things, all right? Merry Christmas or whatever, right? So, yeah, if we start talking about banning certain symbols in public as hate symbols, in the UK, guys, we're a couple years behind them. In the UK, I promise. Right now, the Union Jack is a hate symbol. You can't fly the flag without people taking it down. And it's funny, it's not, I don't know, man. You're seeing a lot of the videos where it's the older white people who are like brainwashed that diversity is our strength, and you feel so guilty to be white, so it's like you'll even take down the flag to appease all these people that are letting into your country. It's like, no, we're not trying to be hateful, we're not trying to incite violence. It's just we're not going to be shamed for being men, we're not going to be shamed for being white, we're not going to be shamed for being Christian. We love Canada, and we want Canada how it was, because back then we thought people were taking care of us, right? We didn't think it was going to go this way. Now it's going this way. Now we have something to fight for, and you can't brainwash us into thinking whatever, that us standing up for ourselves is racist or whatever, right? So if we keep allowing them to pass all these hate laws and everything, this is where it's going. The Canadian flag is going to be hateful. Standing up for white people is going to be racist. You know, the whole deal. So yeah, we have to sort of shift the thinking on this, guys. We have to come together. We can't let powerful people with money and influence like just hijack our system here and use it for their own gains. You know, it's like, enough is enough. We need this money, this Canadian money, all our hard-earned money. We're working hard to be invested back into us, right? It's not that complicated. Our healthcare, our roads, our school system, our water, get poison out of the food. I mean, it's, you know, set up local greenhouses and shit. Like, what are we doing here? Like, so the last thing I want to say here is I found this really funny. The old Criminal Code of Canada, right? Two things. One thing is I found that advocating genocide is on the books, and you can get up to 14 years in prison for advocating genocide. So this is what I'm saying, guys. You want to flip it around. It's like all the people in the powerful positions or whatever who aren't being honest and who aren't calling it a genocide and who are like doing the word salad and the mental gymnastics to flip it around to make it seem like you're in the right or whatever. It's like, maybe that's blood libel, you know what I mean? Maybe that's, you got blood on your hands, you know? Maybe you need to take accountability, responsibility for your words. They're very hateful. People are dying. They're pulling babies out of rubble. It's documented. IDF snipers sniping kneecaps out like it's a big game. Sniping. Imagine being a doctor and a baby's dead. You clean off the blood and you're like, whoa, there's like a hole in this baby's forehead. Oh yeah, they're killing babies and everything. It's like, so you can't use the laws and everything and use guilt to like make me, you know, feel bad because like, how many mentally ill people are online saying crazy stuff? You're like, are we, you know, we should watch them all. That's another thing. Let me say, this Ken guy, if you're saying hateful things like that online, maybe the authorities should be watching you, because we're seeing a lot of people pick up guns and doing crazy shit like that, right? So yeah, if you're saying hateful and you're inciting violence online, you should probably be watched. But guys, when you start putting Canadians in jail for having opinions and for saying things online, it ends up nowhere good. Okay, right now it's like you do a hate crime, they'll lock you up for 10 years. And when we're gone and the kids are kind of running the show and our kids are older and it's our kids here, they might get like locked up for 10 years for just criticizing the government. So yeah, we can't let these guys take us down the road of like bankrupt us for climate change, diversity is our strength, let everybody in. Like, we're basically killing the country and we're letting it happen. So no more. Enough is enough. This is my little part. I'll be making these videos, picking an article, breaking her down. I spent a few days reading articles on the topic, and everything's going to be geared towards trying to make our country great, because Canada is cooked, but I mean, it could slap once again. So thanks very much for watching. Please like and comment and subscribe. You wouldn't believe how much that helps. And yeah. Peace.